So let's get into this right here. On October 8th of 2025, Senator Cynthia Lummis introduced Senate Bill 2991, which would make it a legal requirement for commercial drivers to demonstrate basic English proficiency as previously outlined in a White House executive order. So basically, can you imagine this? You're new, you're trying to get your CDL, and besides doing your written exam, doing your air brake tests, doing your road tests, and all the above, now you're going to have to interview and make sure you can speak enough English. And second to that, you're going to have to be able to read and understand highway traffic signs and signals before you can get your CDL. Because that's what's going to happen if this goes through. Now, do you think that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing? When you're new and you're trying to get your CDL, it is what it is. But as a truck driver that has been driving for many years, if you have to renew and do this, do you think that that's overreaching or not? Or do you think that it's going to help keep the roads safe? Mud truckers, comment down below. Would love to hear from you from that. But that's definitely the big news here today. All right, Mutha truckers, I want to talk about this real quick. We know Montgomery Transport was closing down, affecting 600 truck drivers, and they said that they were shutting down. And this is very interesting right here. I want to read some of this right here. Some of this I got to censor, but you can read between the lines. It says here, Mike Moss is a coward, and I'm going to destroy him. Wow. Todd Rollins and the other. Yep, my husband was with Montgomery Transport Select. He was stuck in Michigan, EFS cars shut off, and we had to pay for fuel ourselves just to get him home. We have no idea if he's getting his escrow maintenance, which is roughly $5,000, but we're going to get it one way or another. And when I get it, they can have their truck back. Anyway, he picked up his rental for Enterprise and he starts DMT Monday. So good to hear that her husband is going to be okay and starting a new trucking job. So this post right here went viral. And, I wanted to read what people had to say about this. 4 a.m. Friday morning, if they isn't checking that account, then ain't going to be a drop at a.m. Someone says they literally told everyone last week they would be shutting fuel cards off today. Why are y'all acting surprised? So I guess there was some communication with that. Another driver says, yes, they said Wednesday night at 11, they sent a text out saying everything was cut off. Trucks was shut down immediately. So there was a warning of that. But, the hard part with that is it's just crazy these days how, regardless if you're thinking you're working for a good company, do you yourself keep enough money in your pocket just in case something like this happens so that you can get yourself home? It's such a tough situation here, but just want to ask that personal question. I know back in the day, it almost seems like you could work for a company and be okay. But now it doesn't matter what company it is. Things happen. The economy's not great. And, their fuel cards got shut off. So in this situation, drivers, I'm telling you, I know it's a hard time and it's hard to save money right now, but do you yourself keep enough money, just in case type of money, just in case these companies shut down and you can't get home? I want to ask out to all Montgomery Transport drivers as well. Did you get stuck and stranded in this situation? My truckers, comment down below.